jealous. I'm just here to make your ex-man jealous. Dance the night away with me.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of what we're talking about on Wednesday on Thursday. Hey, happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th to the Americans. Happy Canada Day to Canada. This past Monday, we enjoyed it. I did not record a video yesterday because I was doing my hair. But today, I'm talking because I can't miss a week to talk. So let's jump right into it. So there was a bit of a controversial thing going on with Chris Brown and his released album. He released it on Friday. I tried to get through it. I couldn't do it. I tried. I really did. I think I like him as a featured artist, not as a album artist anymore, especially because he's not the little pretty man on the floor kind of Chris Brown. He's the like tattooed crackhead kind of like beat you in the back alley kind of Chris Brown. So anyway, I tried to listen to this album and I couldn't get through it. However, there is a song on the album that refers to liking women with not light-skinned women, liking women with nice hair. And women, particularly women darker complexions, kind of took offense to this comment, I guess, feeling like it didn't refer to them. Now, not all of us have not so great hair. I am blessed. Anyway, that's besides the point. People felt like he was sort of targeting darker skinned women and suggesting that he's not for them. And there was I think she's a rap artist. Her name is Tokyo Rose. God forgive me, I don't know her name because I don't follow her. But she's a darker skinned, full figured woman, and she decided to kind of come at him and be like, listen, I know for a fact you don't like darker skinned women because when we were in the club, when we were at a club together at the same time, you know, one of my friends tried to get in your booth and she was dark skinned and she was rejected. However, you accepted all of the other light skinned women. And this has happened not once based on what she's saying, but twice. And people are arguing, you know, that he doesn't support the black female and blah, blah, blah. And he always ever dated women who either looked white or Asian. And the rebuttal is from other black men is when women say they don't want to date short men or men who are of a certain weight, that those are their preferences. But when Chris Brown says he only wants to date girls with nice hair, then that's him being sort of prejudicial. And you know what? I'm going to have to agree with them on this one. I, for one, was very particular about not dating certain types of guys. And I stood by that as that's my preference. It's like an ice cream, right? I only like chocolate ice cream. I don't like vanilla ice cream. I like my burgers to be beef patties, not chicken. You know, people have their preferences. And if Chris Brown decides he wants to date girls with nice hair because maybe he wants his potential babies to have nice hair, that's his preference. I don't see how that hurts me as a dark-skinned woman because number one, I have good hair. Number two, even if I didn't, I don't give a shit what Chris Brown thinks about me particularly. Excuse my French. But if he prefers women of oh my God, not light skin, who prefer women with nice hair, then roll on with that and pick those women. That's usually what the music industry sort of prefers itself. That in itself is problematic. But as an individual sharing their preferences, that's not problematic. The music industry pushing darker skinned women aside or casting them in a certain light, that's problematic. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what one man says he prefers. And as much as I cannot stand the dude in a lot of ways, it's his preference. So I'm not going to fight the argument. I'm not going to bash him for it. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons to dislike Chris Brown. Because he likes girls with nice hair is not really one of them for me to be pressed about. But that's that issue. And Chris Brown vehemently said, you can suck my if you have a problem with my opinion because that's my opinion and that's how I feel about it. And it's his song, his album, his lyrics, and I kind of have to agree. It's his opinion. Like what you like, dude. I only dated... Anyway, I'm not even going to get into it. It is what it is. We all have our preferences. I like my burgers. I like my fried chicken. I like my man the way he is. And I liked dudes who the way they were, particular dudes, based on the things that I liked. We all have our preferences. Let's move on. Second thing I want to talk about real quick is, and I'm only talking about this because Justin Bieber is involved. I guess I like Justin Bieber a little bit. But if you are a fan of the Swizzers or the T-Swizzlers or the Swifties or the Swifties, whatever Taylor Swift calls her fans, this one's not going to be for you. Taylor Swift earlier, I think late last week actually, decided to come out and say that she had not so great feelings about Scooter, I guess, who works with Justin Bieber and has worked with Taylor Swift, got the masters to all of her music. She was not a fan of it, went to and decided to do an iOS press release on Instagram and Twitter and bash him and talk about how disgusted she was for it. Now, for a being a young woman, I mean, she's been in this music industry for quite some time, and basically she's saying that they cheated her out of her masters, her music masters, to give to him. And while I don't like Taylor Swift at all, like I cannot stand Taylor Swift, I felt for her in that moment, and I felt like, you know, it's kind of shitty to know that it's one of the people who you felt like kind of bullied you or manipulated you, or you don't feel good about, owns the rights basically to your music. It's not a good feeling, because that's, you know, that's your history, that's your legacy, and you worked hard on that. However, Taylor Swift has a lot of money, and Taylor Swift is not a little girl anymore, right? So Taylor Swift, if she really didn't want that man to have her masters, or she really wanted to fight against him controlling her music, she could have bought and paid for a bunch of lawyers, and she could have took that ish to court. There are a lot of artists out there that I could name who decided, because they didn't want to work with a certain person who had the rights to their music, they stopped making music because they weren't going to have it happen. You have continued on. And I'm sure you knew about this, or they say her father knew about this. So if this was something that you didn't want to continue, I'm positive you could have had the lawyers in your pocket to go after them. Even people like Kesha, who didn't want to work with that one dude, stopped making music because she didn't want to do it. There's lots of people who took a stand against the people they didn't want to have the rights to their music, having the rights to their music. So I felt sad for her in a moment, but then I realized you probably could have done something about it if you were really that pressed about it. So that's my comment. You know, she has an issue with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber kind of came to Scooter's defense. And while I don't really know what they two particularly were bickering back and forth, I think what it ultimately comes down to is, if you didn't want him to have it, if you really felt like this was something that you did not want to transpire early on, I feel like there was something you could have done about it, but you didn't. And now you want people to be sad for you. And because I'm not a fan of yours, I don't. Hello and welcome back to another episode of What We're Talking About on Wednesday.